I'm Karen Hoyt, Marketing Director at Shasta Regional Medical Center, and we're proud to be part of the conversation that the Forum at KIXE is bringing to our community. Shasta Regional has been around for more than 60 years supporting our community, and we would like to invite you to be a part of the Forum on KIXE. Together, we can support the community that gives us back so much. Thank you.
Hi, and welcome to the Forum. I'm Ashley Tate, along with my co-host Christy Largent, and we're here with Kelly Parsons. She's a senior manager of the Little Red Hen, which is a nonprofit based in Chico.
Welcome, Kelly. We're so glad that you're here. Our whole show today is going to be really exciting because we're talking about what the Little Red Hen does, and later in the show, we're going to get to dig down a little bit with one of your outreaches. So why don't you tell us, what is the Little Red Hen? Where did it start, and what's the background?
Well, the background of Little Red Hen is our executive director, Teresa. She had a son diagnosed with autism at 3, and you know, there were some services back then for children with autism or other developmental disabilities, but she kind of looked into the future and thought, you know, what's out there for him when he becomes, you know, a young adult, a teen, and, you know, into adulthood. And so she got some friends together and started selling plant clippings out of her front yard, and you know, we ended up getting funding for from Far Northern Regional Center for a nursery.
And those plant clippings, that was the start of her nonprofit, is that correct? Like,
yes.
She started the nursery.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
As a nonprofit.
She loves plants, and she has an amazing garden, and she's very into gardening, and so you know, plus working outside can be very therapeutic for anybody, let alone someone with developmental disability. And so that's how the nursery was started. It's you know, we're located downtown Chico, and we're supportive employment, so we don't pay anybody below minimum wage. Okay. You know, we always have assistants working, you know, close with our disabled adults, which we refer to them as our staff. It kind of shortens it a little bit.
Both of those, the assistants and the developmentally disabled, are both considered staff, is that correct?
No, staff is our developmentally disabled adults.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have assistants that also are pretty much instructors and then managers and stuff. So so we started as the nursery, and from there, you know, we got a really good following, a lot of customers buying plants, and then we kind of jumped into the gift world and retail. We opened our gift shop in 2007, and now you have a floral shop? Now we have a kitchen store. We just opened a vintage store. We have a floral shop. Wow. Yeah, it's amazing, the growth. And, you know, our big thing is, you know, I kind of call it retail with a purpose, because, you know, everyone loves shopping. And you know, when you purchase something at the Little Red Hen, all of the money stays local, and we can employ more adults. And right now we employ close to 100 disabled adults. So starting at the nursery, you know, with 2, to see how we've grown, and the nursery started, I believe, 12 years ago.
Oh, not very long.
Yeah, so since then we've, you know, had all these programs, and my big focus, you know, having a family member with a developmental disability, is I want to show what this population can do to contribute to society. I think there's a stigma out there when you think of, you know, a place where developmentally disabled adults are working. It's a thrift store, or it's got to be dirty, or, you know, there's kind of a stigma out there that, you know, we've come a long way from, you know, just institutionalizing everybody to getting them back into society and being an integral part and participating and
creating awareness, and also
creating awareness, but also giving them a purpose in life. Like I said, we don't pay below minimum wage, and it's so amazing to see some of our employees, it's their first job, and just light up when they get their first paycheck. But you know, my main goal, as you know, I kind of oversee a lot of the retails, I want people to walk into our stores and be like amazed at the quality, the cleanliness, the professionalism. You know, we're pretty strict. We have, you know, a dress code. If our staff aren't following the dress code, you know, or we don't address, you know, a bad shave job for our men, or, you know, hair not brushed, you know, and then they go out into the community, it's that stigma, like, oh, it's okay, their hair isn't brushed, they're a disabled adult. Well, no, that's not okay. You know, if we're not going to help them in the workforce, you know, look their best and be presentable, you know, who's going to help them? So I think what really makes the Little Red Hen stand out is that we do have really high standards because we know what this population is capable of. And so
are all the stores called the Little Red Hen?
They're all, like, we have Little Red Hen Plant Nursery, Little Red Hen Gift Shop, Little Red Hen Kids in Kitchen, Little Red Hen Vintage Hen, Little Red Hen, our soon-to-be Floral and More store. So it's all, you'll see the Little Red Hen logo, but then
your subsidiaries, and then you're online as well. It's
yes, we do have Little Red Hen online.
.com. It's littleredhen.com.
.org.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
You are a
order
nonprofit.
things from there?
We're getting there.
Oh, okay.
We do have
wow,
with our vintage store, we do have an Etsy store. I don't know if you're familiar with Etsy, but everything in our vintage store is also online on our Etsy store.
I saw that.
So we can sell anywhere in the world, and it's really cool. And
can you get there from your website if people, if any of our viewers want to see? Okay.
You just click on the Etsy store, and we do sell items on eBay, which we got a little crazy and busy there. We are kind of limited on space, so that slowed down a little bit, but we do offer that. So we do have an eBay store as well.
That's awesome, yeah.
So you're currently employing about 100 developmentally disabled. So how do they get referred into your program?
What they do is they have to go through Far Northern Regional Center. They have to have a diagnosis through them, and we employ adults with autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy,
ADHD.
mild, I think they're calling it ID now, intellectual disability. So we employ everybody. We have a couple in wheelchairs. We have, some that are nonverbal. We have some that have amazing skills and drive themselves to work. So they go through Far Northern, and then they get referred to us. We have, a kind of a modified interviewing process just to kind of see where they're at and see what location would be the best for them and see where our starting point is. And then, right now I think we still have about 25 people on our waiting list just because we don't have room, and a lot of our, kids graduating from high school and, wanting to get into the workforce. So it's, we are busy, we are expanding, we're trying to get more programs to employ more people just because we all have a heart for that.
Do you also refer out? So you have 25 people on your waiting list. Do you refer any of those kids out, like work with partners that may want to employ disabled employees, or do you do anything like that?
Not at this point. That's kind of what Far Northern Regional Center does, is they kind of find a good placement for these adults.
Okay.
And we're one of those services that they come to and see if they want to work.
Maybe something people don't really understand too is that there's such a wide range of being disabled. I mean, my brother he has ADHD and he's considered disabled, and same type of situation. Finding a job, getting that first paycheck is so important to them. The smile on their face, they're just so excited, and we take that for granted sometimes.
Yeah, and just being proud of what you've done. I mean, sometimes being in their day to day, it's like it can be a very trying job because we work with not only the developmentally disabled, but some of them are behind socially and behaviorally and maturity, and so it can be very, very trying. But when you look back at where these staff started a year ago, it's like, oh my gosh, they've come so far, and it's it can be very trying and very, your patience gets tried a lot, but at the same time, it's like, it's so amazing to see how far some of our adults have come, and some of it's just they have finally accomplished their goal of looking you in the eye and saying hello without being prompted. And going through Far Northern and the referral process is everybody has goals that they work on. And so we work on usually social goals and employment goals, teaching them skills that they can take outside of the workplace.
So they're kind of getting paid to learn life skills.
They are. They really are.
And they're getting paid to learn how to function well in society kind of on their own. With their own their own foundation.
And we don't just, what we do is there's a purpose behind everything we do, whether it's keeping our windows clean, vacuuming the floors, keeping our product clean, is because, I really stress, you want our customers walking in and being like, oh my gosh, this place is so high quality. You guys do such amazing work. Our staff use the cash register, and they, some of them answer the phone and do some of the computer work. And every location, there is a staff involved in every single thing that we do.
Now, you were mentioning you have assistants for each of your staff members, or
we have a 3-to-1 ratio. So for every 3 disabled adults we have an assistant or an instructor that works with them.
And what if someone wanted to get involved that way? How could they become an assistant or an instructor to work with developmentally disabled? I mean, for some people that's what they would like to do. So
and it definitely takes a person with a special heart, and we've been very fortunate. We have amazing employees, and you can tell the ones that really care. You can't just, this is not just any part-time job. This is you really have to care to make this, work. But We always have openings, so
Is that through your website or?
Through the website or just coming in.
Okay.
Through our website, you can send us emails. We also have a Facebook page.
Okay.
People can contact us that way, or just walking into any of our locations, filling out an application. Like I said, we're continually growing and try to expand. Like I said, we have 25 people on our waiting list, so we're always trying to find spots.
Great.
So, but yeah, if someone has good qualifications and the heart for it, we can hopefully find them a spot. But yeah,
it's exciting, isn't it, to see that, to think in 12 years to make such an impact in the community.
Yeah.
And I understand there's the programs that come out of it, not just the stores, but you guys have a whole myriad list of programs for children after school. Can you elaborate? We're closing on this first half of the show.
Yeah,
so we have a few minutes, but tell us how that is.
Yeah, so aside from the supportive employment and the retail side, we have services for, we have 2 programs for children with autism, and then we have a Growing Together teen group for those, the kids that are too old to be in our children's programs, but the teen group focuses a little bit more on appropriate social behavior, but also still addresses some of those behaviors. And then we have branching out as our young adult group, where you have those, they're young adults that have graduated high school or maybe in college or looking to move out of their parents' house, but maybe still live with their parents or supportive living, but need work on social skills and need an instructor or someone to just help guide them in social outings, and so we do that.
So these are kind of like after-school clubs, so to speak?
Kind of, yeah. Most of them are 1 day a week, programs or services we provide, because there's people of all ages out there with developmental disabilities,
and how can someone be part of those programs? What do they need to do to be part of? How can they find out?
I would go through our website, contact, send an email, or like I said, come in to one of our stores. And we do have limited space in some of those programs, and because it deals with children or young adults, there is a certain criteria to meet. We're hoping to start an adult call, and everything's related to plants, but and we'll get into the names of everything later, but we have Growing Together Teens branching out, and then we want to start a group called Full Bloom for older adults with developmental, to get them out of the house and social and do something. So we're working towards that too.
Oh, neat.
So.
That's so exciting. And you're headquartered down in Chico.
Yes.
And the second half of our show, we're going to get to hear a little bit more specifically about the autism program, and we'll dig a little deeper into some of these other things too. So Kelly, thank you so much for coming on. We love having you. And it's always interesting for our listeners and viewers to get to see what these things are going on under our noses, that if you're not in that need circle, if you will, you wouldn't even know about it.
Yeah.
But now you know who to refer to.
Yeah, the Little Red Hen. It's thelittleredhen.com, and we'll be back in a few minutes to share some more.
Hi, and we're back with Shannon Pope, the supervisor for Autism Lifespan, which is a service of the Little Red Hen. Hi, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I really want to start this segment with this glowing report we got on you guys, and I'm actually going to read it. This is a letter from one of the families who's been a user of your services through Little Red Hen, and specifically with what you guys are doing. And I want to just read it. I'll keep the names out, but I want you guys to hear this. This is just awesome. Our family was so fortunate to find Little Red Hen when they first began offering programs in our community. My son Nate started in Little Sprouts when he was just 5 or 6, and now at age 16 has advanced through Budding Sprouts and is part of Growing Together Teens. That's what Kelly talked about a little earlier. He has literally grown up on these programs. I cannot say enough about the wonderful staff that is committed to helping these kids and young adults fulfill their potential. Knowing how difficult it can be at times to work with this population, I admire their compassion and patience and feel they are involved with Little Red Hen because they truly care. For the last several years, the highlight of Nate's summer has been Flock, Feeling Like One Common Kid. I like that. A program that meets daily for 3 weeks and offers great activities to get the kids out in the community and doing typical kid stuff, something that's sometimes hard, for a person with a developmental disability.
Yeah, it can be.
She's so cute. She says he adds it to the calendar the minute we know the dates and reminds us daily as it approaches, just as he announces every Tuesday morning with a smile, teen group today. I'm so thankful for the time and effort put in by the Little Red Hen to create programs that not only benefit our kids on social and educational levels, but do so in a fun and accepting way. Also exciting for us is the more recent development of Autism Lifespan. And that's what you're going to talk about, right, yep. Shannon? Which offers a variety of support for the autism community. As my son grows older, it's reassuring to know that Little Red Hen and Autism Lifespan are there when we need them. I just feel like a round of applause. What a wonderful letter.
Yeah, it's from a fantastic mother.
Yeah. Wow.
So tell us a little bit about how you got into Autism Lifespan. And I know this is kind of another service of the Little Red Hen. Mm-hmm. Tell us how all that works together.
It started almost 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I kind of wandered into the Little Red Hen nursery. At that time, it was brand new. It was just a nursery, and it had not expanded to the other locations yet. I was doing horticulture in school, so I was really into plants, and we just had a connection, the director and the managers there and myself, and they offered me a little part-time job, and I loved it. I just loved being with the people, and not only being with plants, but the teaching aspect too. Really teaching people life skills and customer service and anything that they needed. Soon there was an opening in the children's program, which serves children with autism, and I fell in love with the kids. So
and that was already part of the nursery?
That was a brand new program at that time, basically.
Okay. So was that the Little Sprout program?
It was a Little Sprouts. And that
for
was
ages 4 to 8?
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly. And that was the only one at that time that was being provided. And I started out just as a part-time instructor there. Really, really loved the children. Started learning a lot more about autism and children in general. Went back to school to do child development and special ed. And since then, the nonprofit has grown, and we've developed more children's programs, and I've just been consistent in supervising most of them and being involved.
So she kind of really opened up a passion for you that you had, that you didn't even know you had.
Absolutely, yeah.
All from starting with plants.
Yes,
from growing plants to
growing people.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, we've been talking earlier a little bit about the whole spectrum of autism. Yes. So how does that play in with your with the autism program?
Well, so we have both the Autism Lifespan office, which is a resource office. What we do is we provide information. We provide the knowledge that people need to find the services. And then the Little Red Hen Sprouts programs are services themselves for children with autism. So we have multiple hats basically in this autism community. People can call us, a parent or a service provider or a teacher even can call us and say, I'm really struggling with this, or I'm really looking for a service that provides this type of activity for my child or my loved one. And we've got the knowledge and the connections with the people in the community, service providers, therapists, or people that do interventions.
Now, do you happen, sorry to interrupt you for a second, now just as you were talking about the services and who you connect with, do you guys do any of the evaluations actually on site at the Autism Lifespan Resource Center?
No.
Okay.
No, we cannot diagnose or treat, anything. We are simply
there to
connection.
Provide. Yes,
we're connection for people and information.
A starting point for people. Yeah. Okay. That's good to know.
Exactly.
All right. What are some of the main differences you might see in, like if you have a child, what are some things you should look for, to see if if they might have autism?
Right.
What are some things?
It's really varied. All children are different, but if your child is not meeting pretty typical milestones, walking or having eye contact is a big one. If they're not sharing engagement in objects or people, and if they're not really socially motivated by your smiles or your clapping, there might be some deficits that need to be addressed, and of course a doctor would need to diagnose that. And there are different types. There are the symptoms that are present from birth, and you see maybe the deficits from an early age, and then there are also kinds that where children start to actually lose the skills that they've developed. So maybe your child was walking at the appropriate time and communicating on the appropriate developmental stage, but they have lost some of that. And so that would be an indicator that we want to get that checked out.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know you could lose. You know, you could lose the skills.
Regress.
Yeah.
Kind of a regression. You're like, why is this happening? This
Exactly.
should not be happening.
Yeah.
It didn't. And I would imagine the hard part is for first-time parents, because you don't really know. I mean, you have nothing to compare it with.
A marker
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But when it's a second or third child, you're like, you know, my first one didn't do this. And so do they come see you, they call you, and then you guys make a referral out, or do you say, go see your pediatrician, or what is
You know,
the
it
steps?
could happen in any way. A lot of times people call us after they've already learned that their child has autism, because then they're thrown into this brand new world that they know nothing about.
Right.
So, you know, they've got the diagnosis, or maybe they feel that they've seen the deficits in their child, and then they're going to come to us and say, you know, where do I go? Where do I get this information? How do I get my child the best education? How do I get them social services? How do I find different motor skill therapies?
And I was going to ask you, just on the education side of things, I mean, how are children who have autism, how are they able to, I mean, do you recommend that they stay in regular school, or do you recommend them are there special schools set up for autism?
There are. The choices, there's quite a lot of choices.
Are
and
there?
Of course,
Okay.
It's, you know, it's going to be by family and by the child's needs.
Right.
Special day classes are classes for children with developmental disabilities, and they're amazing these days. So most parents, you know, end up putting their child in a special day class, but it depends on their abilities. There are a lot of children who are mainstreamed into your typical developing children's classrooms.
Yeah.
They might have. They will usually have
A few different
an
issues.
an aid with them, or you know, something like an iPad that aids them, or a picture communication, something that gives them support in the classroom so that they can be as independent as possible, and be included in all the, you know, normal children activities, but still support them in their needs.
So how is Little Red Hen funded? Where does the money for all these programs, and we talked about the stores with Kelly earlier, so there's money coming in that way. You have people that are volunteers, you have staff, and you have the teacher trainers, right? So how does it all work together, and how do you guys make your payroll every month?
We are funded primarily through the regional center, so the local one is the Far Northern Regional Center. And also, we really rely on the money that we receive from our gift locations, so our different retail locations. When people come in and shop, they're supporting our programs directly. And it allows us to kind of delegate the money into different areas. Our children's programs are a big one. Some of the programs that we have are actually not funded, so we receive no money for them. So it's kind of out of our
Excess
general support.
Our general.
I mean, that goes back to what Kelly was saying about the retail with a purpose.
Yeah.
And I mean,
really
I love that
is.
because that's the truth. No, can you, when you make a purchase, do the customers designate where that, you know, which program they like it to go to, or does it all go into one big fund and then you guys use it as needed?
They don't get to make a choice. It is just going to go to like the greater good.
Right, absolutely.
The Little Red Hen, and you know, basically anywhere where that money goes, it's going to be well spent.
So you're a nonprofit. You have a board of directors. Is that right?
Yes,
Is that
we do.
how you are actually run? Okay. And where do your board of directors come from?
You know, I don't know all of them, but they are community members with experience. I know we've got a teacher, we've got a business owner. Parents are a big one. We want parents of, you know, people with developmental disabilities guiding the direction of our
It sounds like it's working.
Definitely.
You can't argue with great success. And so you're right now pretty localized in the Chico area. Is that correct?
We are, yeah. Most of our shops and services are in Chico. Autism Lifespan does serve the greater kind of Northern California area, so it's going to be like Butte County, Siskiyou, Trinity, Shasta.
Oh, wow.
So although we can't provide a whole lot of our Little Red Hen services that far from our locations, people can call us and we'll definitely connect them with the information.
That's good to know.
Great.
Yeah.
And they can also find you on your website.
They can, autismlifespan.org.
Okay.
Which you can get to from the main website, which is thelittleredhen.org. I said the wrong thing before. It's thelittleredhen.org, and you can get a link to all those programs if you want to know specifically. There's lots of material on their website, and it will also link you directly to the autism program, your complete page. So this has been so interesting, huh, Ashley? Getting to really learn about these programs. If you have a question about your child, don't wait. That's one thing as a mother I'm learning, is that if something seems off, go with your gut, or if you're a grandma, even though it's hard to say as a grandma, say something, because services are available, and their whole life, all of your life would be enriched by participating, right?
Early intervention is the best intervention.
So even though they're in Chico, there are services all over our whole viewing area that allow you to help your family. So what an interesting show today with the forum. Thanks again for watching, and come back next week when we'll have another exciting show.
I'm Karen Hoyt, Marketing Director at Shasta Regional Medical Center, and we're proud to be part of the conversation that the forum at KIXE is bringing to our community. Shasta Regional has been around for more than 60 years supporting our community, and we would like to invite you to be a part of the forum on KIXE. Together, we can support the community that gives us back so much. Thank you.